okay, I've got to take it a step back and get back to basics. Back to basics. Respectful language, respectful communication. We talk about respectful relationships when we talk about preventative measures. That's really what it comes down to. And we all have a role to play in that. And when you come down to, men's responsibility, they're not only responsible as a spouse, they're responsible as a father. And in the other way around, down the track, you don't know what's going to happen with your own daughters and sons. It's not easy for men. You said the extended family. It's not easy for a man to operate as a mahram for his daughter in that situation, or separating and down that. So there are complexities to men's experiences in this too, and we need to have these open conversations so that we also build within them the capacity to know their obligations as a man, as a mahram towards his children, because there could, or in his wife, there could be a whole range of scenarios that family violence complicates the issue.
It's okay to say I don't know.
Yes,
I think that's the key.
Yeah,
because a lot of times we just go on pretending, fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
right. That's how most people leave. Not most, astaghfirullah, but it happens. So it is important to stop and think and say, really, I don't know this. I've never seen this. I don't know how to interact. I don't know how to react. I'm angry.
Yeah.
So what do I do with my anger? Right? And when you acknowledge that, your partner will really want to support and help, but not at the end.
Yeah.
When you're about to, where there's the war has broken out, and then all of that. So really, it's very important to really, just like you begin in your relationship in that dignified, loving, compassionate, the mawadda and the rahmah. The ihsan is so important. It's so important to be able to interact while your anger, but contain your anger. Yeah. And how do you do that? And for what purpose? It's about your intention. Are you separating for what purpose? If it's the intention lillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you cannot keep within that relationship, it's an amicable separation. There's farakum bil ihsan bil ma'roof. So that's where we have answers in our Islamic tradition, wallahi.
Well, on that, and this is the last question, inshallah. I wanted to explore the Islamic tradition vis-a-vis a very hot ticket item that is the subject of a lot of popular discourse today, right? I'm going to throw this word out there. It's masculinity, right? The M word we called it as part of the marketing today for this episode, because it really has become so politicized, right? Anytime you talk about what it means to be masculine, what does masculinity mean? The word toxic is not far away, right? So toxic masculinity has now become a phrase, right? It's sort of like from one perspective, it's like an explanation for why things have gone so wrong with men, and in response, some men have started saying, feminists and others are just watering down what it means to be a man to the point where the characteristics associated with men no longer mean anything. And so they're watering down our religion, right? They're whittling away what it means to be a man and the characteristics that the Prophet had and the companions had, which Islam extols, to the point where, there's no room for it left. And so it's almost like, now, how do we claim this back in a way and couch this in our own tradition in terms of what it means to be a man, and by the same token, what it means to be a woman, right? And what are the roles and responsibilities of each in a way that tries to divorce them somewhat from the pretty difficult conversations happening in the space in broader society, where of course there's no tether to any sort of religious worldview. So how would you?
I mean, I think we've alluded to it.
Yes, we have,
conversation.
Absolutely.
It is very important because the majority of women that we speak to, most women that we speak to, say, I want a man, right? I want a rajul, that I can rely on, that that I understand, and that there are certain, like we said, the boundaries, because our Islamic tradition has developed boundaries between men and women, right? And it doesn't mean that women's business and men's business and it's about that, but it's about clearly understanding what is the role of a man, what is the role of a woman, because everything now is being like you source everything out, like even mowing the lawn in your household. One young man said to me not long ago, he said to me, when I mow the lawn I feel like a man. And then we were talking about it in our conversation, and she said, I never thought about that, because she gets someone they outsource it, right? But he really wants to mow the lawn, because I think, again, that gives you it's the power within. You know, you feel that you are doing something in your house. Whereas now, everyone wants to get everything done by someone else, right? So I think we got to come back. That's just one example.
Yeah,
that's nothing, you know. But I think it's about really understanding again and having those parameters and understanding what is the role of a man in our Islamic tradition. Of course, we know Shama'al Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. It's clear, it's there. Of course, we are not like the Sahaba. We're not like the Sahabiyat. But they're there for a reason, right? So what can we deduce out of them and look at some of the, you know, the incidents and all the experiences that Rasulullah alayhi wasallam lived in, and how do we apply it now? There's nothing to say that we can't do that. We can apply it because everyone is searching for a, you know, for foundation, for strong foundation, and I think we have it. And we have it clear. And when there's clarity in our roles, I mean, even in work, when you're working, everyone wants to know what their role is, right? So that this one doesn't bounce on this one, and there's boundaries and all of this. So in a marriage, we've been given roles and responsibilities. So why are we shying away from that?
Exactly.
Why do we not bring it out earlier?
Yeah.
But that's where I go back to. It has to start from the day one. When you get married, you understand. So when you start having your children,
and even perhaps before Hajjeh?
Before,
Like this is where, as a community, these discussions and this education needs to happen. Right?
It has to happen.
Yeah.
But we need to break those old ways, right? We need to move into naming the issues and creating a space to claim them, right? I mean, women want to claim their space in our Islamic tradition. Women don't want to be continuously to be torn between this and this. But the men need to come in to the space as well without feeling that, you know, unwelcome, right? So you've got to feel confident enough in your own self as a man, as a woman, that you are here with the purest of intention. Your intention is lillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've got to have that conversation. And I think that's where we can come up with clear, you know, guidelines, if you say, you know, and about what is the role of a man, a role of a woman, because a role of father is different than the role of a husband, right? A role of a son is different than a role of his father. So that while you are a man, you have different roles to play. When you are a son, you are to your mother, you are totally different in your interaction to your wife, right? Or to your mother-in-law, or to your daughter. So how do you engage? But there are the principle of being a man is very clear in our tradition. We don't hide away from it. But on the contrary, I think it comes with strength, but with rahmah. You're not just a male. You're a rajul with compassion, with dignity as well. And it's not about muscles. It's about the heart, you know. And we've got it. We have it. We just not got to start gelling it in together.
Absolutely. I think it's right there for us within our faith traditions and within all the examples of, you know, the prophets and the Sahaba. And I think it's important that what Hajjeh Maha is saying, it's about, you know, women want their men to be men. They don't want to walk into their house and have to be in control of everything and responsibilities for everything. But it's about, what is your leadership style? Are you authoritarian or are you consultative? You know, there are the, you know, how do you be of service to your family? Do you just provide and provide no emotional support? Do you just work outside the home and are not engaged within the parenting? These are the things that are important. And there is no one size fits all, but Hajjeh Maha said very clearly, there are foundations, there are principles. Before Rasulullah passed away, what did he say? What did he say? He told us, you know, be good to your women, be good to your women, be good to your women. You know, this is not something that we need to parachute from feminist Western ideology. This is very much within our faith traditions. The companionship with Aisha radiallahu anha, the having, you know, having the friendship. Where is that?
It's that mawadda, it's that interaction. I think it's that relationship, but not when something bad happens.
And I mean that is such a rich site of discussion like that is an episode in itself, right?
Yeah.
The role and responsibilities of men and women in marriage. SubhanAllah, it's could go on all the time for a long time. But sisters, I am conscious of time. We've gone significantly over, but that's the nature of the discussion, mashallah. It feels like a minute and then it's gone. But absolutely fantastic discussion. So eye-opening and genuinely, I think, hitting at the core of some of these issues that I think it creates a space for more of this, and I think a lot of it needs to happen. And many of these discussions need to start very, very early. People need to be aware of their rights, responsibilities, sort of some risk mitigation, I guess, if you want to put it that way, on both sides. And I guess people knowing their own weaknesses and knowing when they themselves need some help because they don't know how to handle the situation. I think that was really, really good. But also, when someone sees someone else doing something, I think it's key to sort of step in and move early, because much better than leaving it until it's too late because of what we heard. So, subhanAllah. Absolutely fantastic to have you both. Jazakumullahu khairan. Absolutely amazing. And may Allah reward you for your ongoing work. And we look forward to seeing the fruits of that labor, inshallah, which will be a great resource for the community, inshallah.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to do the right thing. And please forgive us if we said anything. It's not our intention to hurt or to divide. Our intention is to really bring to the forefront an issue that I've been working with for the last 40 years, but really creating a space, a healthy space where we can have a dialogue and find an amicable resolution while we are doing in parallel dealing with the hardcore issues of crisis that we're dealing with continuously. Jazakallah khairan.
Thank you so much, sis. All right, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for your engagement. A great episode, inshallah. I mean, in terms of the, mashallah, I should say, in terms of the comments that we've received, some fantastic engagement throughout the night. Really look forward to reading some of the other comments that maybe I didn't get to. My apologies if I didn't. It's very, very hard. I'm trying not to seem like a rude host, and I'm on my phone, and God knows what the sisters are thinking, but I've said to our speakers in the past that, look, I'm trying to keep up to date with the live Facebook discussion and trying to just tell people I've asked you questions. So, jazakumullah khair for your engagement. It means a lot to us, and it really, really helps these discussions be so much more relevant to people on the ground. So we look forward to engaging with you further. And on that note, the last episode for this particular Ramadan series will be this coming Tuesday, and it will be on the topic of trauma. We look forward to having a fantastic brother and sister with us, Brother Muhammad Tabba and Sister Nasreen Hanifi, who is a psychologist, discussing this particular issue of trauma. So some linkage to some of the topics here, but also a much broader discussion as well. But sisters and brothers, Jazakumullah khair for your company. A reminder to all of you, if you're looking for an option for extra sadaqah in these blessed days, then NZF is doing a daily giving, automated daily giving option on their website. You can go to nzf.org.au/pay to set up daily sadaqah that gets extracted from your bank account, and inshallah will count for you in this life and the next, and help the really, really important work, whether it comes to the DV space or the other work that NZF does, some of which you saw at the start of the episode. May Allah accept your worship in these last remaining days of Ramadan, and allow us to come out of this month refreshed, renewed, and ready to hit the ground running in a new year, which is inshallah the best year of our lives, Islamically speaking. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت استغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.